Hey guys, it's David. Welcome to the channel. I think this is kind of like the first official talking head review that I've done on this channel. As I think you guys have seen, I've just done some random videos, almost like camera test, if you will, of a little bit of like Blackmagic Pocket 4K cameras, as well as just kind of the iPhones. Ever since the iPhone 15 Pro with like the Apple log, I think it's been just kind of a fun outlet to be able to just kind of show what that log footage can do. And I don't think it's necessarily a replacement for any like cinema camera, but it, as far as like any like travel type vlogs or things like that, like when you cannot take those big cameras around with you, um definitely a great thing to have in the arsenal. And in even in like today's video, um one of the main things we're going to be highlighting today is the Dehancer film emulations. And they had reached out to me and just asked me to do just like an open review. And with that, it lets me sample the software as well. So I've been kind of able to try it out. And I really wanted to see, like, with the new Apple Log 2, what that film Dehancer, kind of like what effects you could get. So like today, I want to put out a couple like side-by-side videos of like the iPhone 17 Pro, which actually this video is being shot on right now. So, and it's like what you're looking at is the 48 millimeter camera. So I think it does a really good job, with the new algorithm, like even with that digital crop, if you will, on the main sensor on the 24 mil, like it cleans it up pretty good. And I mean, you guys can let me know what you think as far as this one. I think what I am going to do, so if you're watching this, I'm going to actually film this portion as well, just with a little bit of like a dehancer effect as well, just so you can kind of see, what this looks like. So what I'm doing typically is I'm using I have a few LUTs that I've used, but the other day, I know like the one LUT, they came out with the new Apple Log 2 LUT, and so I've been using that one as well. So as far as examples, when we can look at footage as we go on here, basically what I want to do is I want to take a like I'll probably shoot ProRes, like the HQ. I'll probably shoot in that, or like the LT. I'll mark it just so you guys can know, like on the examples. But essentially what I want to do is one version of like with the one LUT so you can see, and then we'll either do a side by side or like a slide where you guys can see what the Dehancer film emulation looks like. One of the things that I noticed with the within the software is you can select cameras like in Dehancer to be able to like pick profiles. And with this one, I did see Apple Log, but I didn't see anything highlighted specifically for Apple Log 2. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot the initial. I'm basically going to bake my LUT the one LUT into the footage. So it gives me like a Rec 709 like readout. And then as far as the Dehancer film, what you're going to be looking at is basically like the Rec 709 transferred over. Like, so that way it's going to take the Rec 709 footage and then it's going to do the film emulation from there. Okay, but just know that like if you have other cameras, and I'm sure they'll probably come out in the future with like the actual Apple Log 2 option there, but I didn't want to shoot an Apple Log version and then do the film emulation because I didn't want it to resort back just to like the basic Apple Log. I wanted to be able to kind of convert in that Apple Log too, because I do notice that with some of the LUTs that I use, even I have like the initial one LUT for Apple Log, and once in a while, even that one, I can notice a difference between the two when I'm like using Apple Log 2 or just even like the difference between Apolog and Apolog 2, like that wider gamut space. There's definitely a difference. So as far as like recording purposes, what I'll do is like I said, I'll do one version with the Apolog um, 2 with the one LUT, and then we will convert that into a side by side into the Dehancer. And honestly, guys, just from what I've seen using it, it's fun. It's fun. It's definitely, I think it's a great plugin. I use DaVinci, and one of the things that I typically do if I want more of a film look is, if you have DaVinci, the studio version, they have the film look creator, which lets you go in, and it's a little bit similar to the Dehancer plugin that you get with DaVinci. But I find that you still kind of need to know what you're doing, and you still need to do like a little bit more of in-depth grading with the nodes in DaVinci. And I find that like when I'm using Dehancer, it's very intuitive, and the ease of use is it's just easy. And I think as I'm going through the review, I would say that's probably one of the main benefits is like, yes, DaVinci Resolve, you can get amazing results. But you might have to go in and just train yourself, teach yourself, and kind of get your process down, right? Like it's possible to get similar film emulation looks, but with the Dehancer plugin, I find that it just works pretty great. So like some of the good things about the Dehancer that I would highlight is like the ease of use, or like the quick color grading. I find that even when you transfer, your footage, like going from say like the Rec 709 setting and then just the quick transfer over, the color, like immediately I find that the colors set themselves pretty good. So if you're not, I mean, even from a starting point, if you're not the greatest color artist or colorist and you're just getting started with color grading, I think that's definitely a plus. And another thing I would say, like a good aspect is just the time frame. I think eventually with us moving towards this whole AI programs where it's kind of like you can have everything do it yourself. I think this is a good mix because as filmmakers, as artists, everybody likes to, mess with the sliders or mess with the, like in the DaVinci, for instance, everybody likes a little bit of creative control. And I think this gives you a pretty good mix of both of those, where you're getting the ability to form your look very quick, with the options and just the sliders in the Dehancer plugin, but you're also getting a little bit of that, the creative fun that goes to it. So, I've thought about this just as far as my workflow and how I could incorporate this. And I think that's where this fits. Like I said, Dehancer's not paying me to say anything. I'm just as I've played with this software and I said, okay, how could I justify a subscription, or how could I justify the one-time cost, which I think the individual creator is somewhere around like $599 US, I think it is. And that might seem like a lot, but you have to look at your workflow and what you're going to use this for. If you're somebody who's making money and doing social media, put out for different companies, this is definitely going to be, something that you could justify, right? Like if you don't already have your looks created and you want something a little bit more grainier, film-like, edgier, there's some great black and white emulations in there. I think you could justify it because it's the time factor. And also, I think it's just fun too, because like I said, if you're not the greatest colorist and you want to give your client some different options, like as far as different creative looks, I think it's such a great way to just put some things together, put some samples, and to be able to create them that are, I wouldn't say necessarily plug and play, but with the options and moving a couple sliders, you can really get like a full range of different options, which, transitioning from that, like those are good things. So I think like in my workflow, quick and easy color grading, that being able to get different creative options quickly, and then being able to kind of copy and paste those settings onto other clips and be able to get quick transitions. I think that's good. Like, yes, you can do that in DaVinci right now, but I'm trying to think as far as like a new creator or a creator that's just looking to streamline their flow to get like an amazing look, but also make things easier and quicker, which I think is what we're all trying to do. It kind of helps us focus on the creation part rather than burning up all this time and energy into the post, which can be fun, but on quick turnaround projects, I think we're all looking for ways to help. And I think AI has done a fabulous job with trying to navigate that process to keep us focused on just the story and the creating portion. So rounding over to the bad, what do I think would be bad? As far as like Dehancer, nobody likes subscriptions these days, and that's probably the worst. Can it be pricey? Yes, I think the subscription for just like the individual creator for photo and video is somewhere around like $59. Okay, so you guys can double check that. It might be different in different areas of the world or different regions. Obviously, it might, it's going to be different for your region, but really, I think you have to come back to what you're using it for. And like I said, if you're getting paid on projects, I don't think there's anything wrong. Like I said, even if you're just doing projects from time to time, you could do like a one-time month subscription and be able to use that and justify it for the cost. But if it's just something, like that you're never using, you're never putting out for clients, or you're never doing any type of like narrative short films, then for like long-term use, yeah, might not be for you, honestly. But I think just with what I've seen in the results, it's pretty good and it's fun. I think it's just a great another option. Will it get outsourced at some time by some other AI or some program? Maybe. There's a lot of things that are changing right now and going on. But I think for right now, like I said, you could always use it like a month by month type subscription. You could do, like I said, the one time and just be done with it and have the program, which, if you're doing like film, like documentary films, and like I said, you would have to evaluate where you are as a colorist to see if that is worth it. But do I think it's good? Yeah, I think like the program itself right now, I like it. It gives you some unique looks that are just takes you away from, out of maybe that digital edge that we're so used to. So yeah, as far as the bad goes towards that, rounding back, who is this for? I think, like I said, content creators, documentary filmmakers, narrative filmmakers. I think it's a cool plugin, honestly, even just to try out. When you download it, you can try out the different presets and there's a what am I trying to say here? There's a watermark on there where like you can at least sample things, and if you want to do more, like to take off the watermark, then you need to subscribe. But yeah, I think is just filmmakers different tools to look at and play with, see if it's right for a project, and it gives you some different looks. So I definitely think it's a go. And just as far as sample footage goes, I'm going to put some things up. I want to do some like Blackmagic Pocket K4 4K footage in there as well that you guys can see. But you can go ahead and just look at the the footage for yourself and see what you guys like here. So yeah, take a look at the footage and let me know what you guys think. Okay, so rounding back, if you guys are interested, there is a promo code which is DavidB33, and you get 10% off. Like I said before, I'm not getting paid to do the promotion. It's not like a paid promotion, but if you guys do use the promo code, DavidB33, it I do get some kickback there. So if you guys decide to use it and, do buy, I greatly appreciate it. Definitely helps with just, anything in the creator community. We gotta keep food on the table for the families. So yeah, if you do decide to go, with the program, feel free to use that code and get the discount. But other than that, guys, rounding up here, everything was shot on this iPhone 17 Pro, just as far as like in-house here. So this is like the makeshift studio for the day. I'm just in the kitchen, just threw up the little backlight here just for fun. But yeah, I think moving forward, I'll probably do some different videos in the future, different reviews. I got some other gear, I know there's constantly new gear coming out. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to buy like all new gear in the future, but I definitely just as I accumulate different things, or, I might reach out to some different people to see, if we could do some reviews too, because I do enjoy playing with the different gear. So I guess what I'm saying is there might be more reviews, and I just, for this one, just kind of kept it low key, a little bit of coffee talk, if you will, and just kind of wanted to go over this review together. And yeah, if you guys, let me know what you guys think. Thank you for everybody that has subscribed. This is not a huge channel by any means. I think roughly 100 and, close to 170 subscribers. But I hope you guys have enjoyed, some of the footage, and I'll continue to put out more. I think I'll probably put out a little bit more examples, especially with the iPhone 17 Pro. And, I'll do some different things with the film emulation moving forward too. But thank you guys for everything. And until the next video, we'll see you guys soon. So take care, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.